Hello and welcome to another episode from the Real Talk and Revenue podcast. We have myself, Francesca, the accountant, and we have Jordan, the therapist, and we bring real powerful conversations around building revenue, building confidence, how the mindset works, all different discussions around to help others in business and in their personal life. So listen in, let us know what you think, ask questions along the way, and we'll be sure to answer them. Enjoy. What are you laughing at?
It's a message I've got.
Why? Who's messaged you?
Roxanne.
Give us the goss. What's Roxanne? Please tell
I
her.
can't tell.
She's going to be listening, isn't she?
Yeah.
What is it? Go on, it's funny. She won't mind, will
No,
she?
she won't mind.
Why? I need to know now. Well, give us a hint.
Oh dear. It was something we mentioned on one of these episodes. And then she messaged me like, that's about me, isn't it?
Oh,
And
that
then
was about
she's-
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, then she's messaged me like, how many more times are you going to mention this? But like in a jokey way. Like,
Yeah, she won't mind.
No.
And it's because we get inspired by content. You know, when we hear, I have a meeting, the amount of, I know, people be like, that's about me. And I'm like, well, if the shoe fits, but at the same time, it's good for content. I'm not saying it's this person, and also it's helping others, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got all egg around my mouth. I literally
You haven't.
got all egg in my teeth. I feel it.
Today's just horrible, isn't it? You know, because of the weather.
Yeah, it's
like
chucking
it's
it down.
grey, it's chucking it down, and you just feel like,
Shy.
yeah,
So-
I do as well from getting up in the night. Like,
Oh.
it's not bad. She gets up once in the night, but I think it's like catching up on me
Yeah.
now. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because like I can't go straight back to sleep.
Okay.
Like I'll get up, give her a bottle, she'll settle back down, and then it takes me quite a while to drop
Yeah.
back off.
Which is normal.
So then, like, come getting up, obviously I'll wake up when she wakes up, and then George gets up with her. And it's just like broken sleep, isn't it?
It's the
It's
worst.
the worst, yeah.
Well, I haven't. This is the thing. It's like the stigma of putting makeup on. I haven't put any on today, and I'm not saying I look hideous, but you don't feel your best.
I'm not saying I look hideous. Do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? Because I remember I came in one day, I think it was after Christmas, I woke up like 10 minutes before.
Did you even put makeup on?
No, and I said to you, I've not got any makeup on today.
And I went, you don't look any different.
Yeah, you look fine, which, you know, is fine.
You
Like,
don't put loads on.
I don't.
What have you actually put on?
Like, bit of foundation, bit of bronzer.
Honestly,
Tame my eyebrows down so they're not curling round, and then a bit of mascara. Like it's
not
really
masses.
just to, I don't know, touch up. Like. But I was saying, I don't wear makeup like in my normal working day on my Zoom calls. Generally, I wear makeup if I'm leaving the house for work reasons or like doing something specific. Like if I'm popping to the shop or just going to grab a coffee with George or something like that. Or something like baby group.
You'll put it on.
I won't put it on.
You won't. If you just
No, but if I'm leaving the house, like say I'm going to meet my friend for lunch or
you
know
would.
for dinner or I'm coming out to work,
Yeah.
I'll put it on.
It's interesting because I did a post. Well, no, I didn't. Bella created a post, a marketing post for me where I don't know. When you do a meeting, I just look at myself a lot, and we do, don't we? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I do that, so I can relate to the video she showed me. She says, right, can you do this? And I cringed hard at myself because it's like I made it come across like I love myself, and it's not even why I'm looking at myself. It's
Yeah.
you turn off your selfie camera, don't you?
I've only recently started doing it. Like I do Zoom calls and I'll just turn off self-view, and it's not because I'm bothered by myself and the way I look. I get distracted and I find myself looking at like my square while I'm talking. Let anyone else do that. So I just turn it off because then I find like I'm more just like focused on my client and the conversation. Not that I'm like overly distracted, but I'll notice I'm looking at my square when I'm talking to them. And obviously online, you can't tell too much.
You can't. No one would know anyway.
No, but I just thought, I just might turn off self-view. A lot of my clients do that. They log on, they go, I'm just going to turn off self-view.
But they can see. You can see each other.
Yeah, but you can then you just see their square on the screen.
That's actually. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I never thought about it. I never ever thought it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I
So
know.
You know the one, I bet loads do it. In fact, when I did my post on LinkedIn, a few mentioned something to do with it. I thought, what are they going on about? Actually, I didn't know that. But then again, do I like looking at myself?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because, like, I don't know, like, years gone by, like, I don't know about you, like, I wouldn't leave the house without makeup. Like, again,
no, I wouldn't.
Late teens, early 20s, I'd feel really self-conscious, so I just wouldn't really do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had really, really bad skin. I had acne as well when I was younger. So that obviously knocks your confidence.
It does, yeah.
And that, so I used to wear like quite heavy coverage makeup and.
Did you? What, orange?
Yeah. No, not orange, but like.
The line here, look.
If anyone knows Estee Lauder double wear.
Oh yeah, that is what was really popular. Well, it still is, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, because it literally like it had good coverage and didn't like come off throughout the day. You know how like your face is getting greasy.
Yeah,
and, like,
mine is now. To be fair, I can feel it.
Not.
Oh god.
So yeah, so being more conscious. And then it was when I went on my second uni course. I was still like conscious about like makeup and stuff like that. But I think as you're like going into your mid then late 20s then your 30s, like
Lockdown?
Things shift. Lockdown for me wasn't a massive influencer, I would say. When I was at uni, we had to watch our videos back all the time, like sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is absolutely insufferable.
What do you mean? What videos?
Like sessions with clients so they could be marked. Like you'd have to watch them back and like people in your group would score you and stuff like that.
Oh, that is so brutal.
Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. But because of that, like you get used to it. And like even my cousin yesterday, I was getting a new phone. All the tangents will jump on it. I was ordering a new phone, some contracts up. And I rang him, he works for free. I was like, what phone shall I get? Which I always do. Because I was umming and ahhing with what iPhones get. And he was like, what do you want to do? I said, well, at some point I want to start a YouTube channel. I think I've said this before. Mm-hmm. I was like, if I get the Pro, will the camera be good enough for me to do that? And he was like, absolutely, yeah. He was like, a lot of people think they need like separate cameras and stuff. But he was like, 100% if you've got a phone like that, you can do everything on it. And I was like, okay, I'll get that one for future proofing then.
So interestingly, I follow Zoe Ray and Danny Ray. So do you know who I'm on about?
No.
So Zoe, pre-name is Haig, who's sister to Molly May. Mm. Yeah, so I follow them because they do High Rocks. Oh. And he bought himself a iPhone 16 Pro and does his YouTube content from it.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, I do mine from my phone. I'm not saying I don't. Yeah. And mine's a Samsung.
Yeah.
But to do this podcast recording, we've got a Sony proper camera.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we need that, but the reason why we do these things is thinking of memory, storage, how it looks, the transferring files, putting it in an editing tool.
Yeah, there's that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, loads to think about. So did you get your phone sorted and why have we gone on to phones? Can't remember.
Oh, because when he was saying, him and his fiancée were then like, that's so good that you're thinking about doing a YouTube video, like, and both of them were like, we couldn't possibly go on camera on video and post online.
Why?
Just like
fear,
not comfortable. And like they're going traveling on Saturday for 3 months and Beth was like, I'd love to like vlog and like put it online. And she was, because she's like plus size, and she was like, I'd love to talk about packing for plus size and you know, and I was like, just do it. Like,
does she listen to this?
So many people, I'm not sure actually. Okay. I'll tell her she needs to. So many people would want to see that. And then I was arguing, like, the reason I want to do a YouTube channel is because I look for like really specific content. Like there's certain people I like to watch, but then I'm like, I want to watch people that are like slightly more relatable for me and my situation. So I'm sure there's more people out there 100%. That also want that. And again, like you can feel a bit like, I'm like, not to be like big-headed or anything, because I know I'm not anything special, but people want to relate to normal people and other people's circumstances.
And it's not the special ones, it's the normal ones.
Yeah.
And then again, are we any of us normal?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's about normalising things that people think are weird about themselves more than anything else.
It's so true.
That isn't. Like, when you actually start talking to people, like, it's absolutely not.
There was no way in my late 20s, early 30s that I'd go even to the gym with no makeup on. And then all of a sudden... No, that was it. I did stop using makeup because I started going to an early class in the mornings back in 2017, whatever it was. And I realised that no one batted an eyelid. And the more I did it, the more I felt comfortable in my own skin doing that.
Yeah, because the more you see that people aren't going...
Yeah. Yeah. Although some people do say, oh, you look tired. And then you think, oh my God. But they don't mean it like
George's
that.
dad does that. No, he doesn't so much now, but he used to. When I'd go around with that makeup and he'd go, are you all right? You look quite tired. And I'd go, no, I just haven't got any makeup on. And then he'd go, oh, I didn't even realise that was it. And you look fine without makeup on. I'd be like, yeah, no, like, but that'll be what you're noticing, like, because I've not covered
some
things
areas,
over.
like a bit of grey or whatever under your eyes,
which
or
is fine.
brightness.
Like, that didn't offend me in the slightest. Do you know what I mean?
You chose for it not to offend you, though.
Because it's just, I know, I get it. It's an observation.
It
and when
is.
people are used to seeing people with makeup on, we're in a world where we're very used to seeing people online with makeup on, looking very flawless. Like, obviously, there's a lot of people now that show up online just as they are, which is great.
I love it.
So it's not a surprise, is it, that people are like, oh, are you okay? You look a bit tired, or you look a bit pale, or, you know.
Oh, I hate the pale scenes, because I am going...
The pale scenes.
I feel more pale than ever. I know you're going, no, you're not. But this is pale for me, right? Even though people go, you look so tan. I'm like, are you blind? I don't. I go browner than this. I don't feel as confident in my skin doing videos.
Everyone feels more confident with a nice glowy tan.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh,
when
it's
you get
lovely.
It's so
and I
nice.
used to use sunbeds as well.
I don't anymore.
Honestly, when I was younger, I used to hammer sunbeds.
Did you?
Yeah.
When you say hammer then, how often?
Well, 3-4 times a week. At one point, yeah.
And did you look really brown?
Yeah.
Like too brown though, like leather?
Yeah. So at one point,
colour of this wall?
Well, by today's tanning standards, probably not. But really brown. And there was a period of time, I think, as well, like a couple of years ago, where I had a resurgence of it, and I thought, oh, glowy tan, and I was like, my skin, obviously your skin kind
gets
of goes
better.
And then again, like when I fell pregnant, obviously none of that. And since having Hallie, I'm just more like, I shouldn't be doing that to my skin.
No, you're not been on since?
No,
I'm not.
No, and before I started, it was George, because George used some beds, and obviously Talia, her business.
Of course. Sorry to play.
No, but
true.
Yeah, so I thought, I'll go back on, and then, but before that, I was more conscious, like I didn't think I really should be doing that, and I'd use a bit of fake tan if I was going out instead.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I can't be bothered, because
no, I can't.
I feel like I don't have, it's not I don't have time. When I've got time, I don't want to be
sitting
putting
on a
fake
sunbed.
tan on. And sunbeds for me, again, like, I'm just like, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's not good for your skin. Like, and I don't want to be doing that and setting an example tanning.
I know, it's so true. Because I stopped in lockdown. So obviously lockdown came and it was like, forced me to. But I think I went on once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I did just a little glow.
Up.
But what I found, my skin's better not going on them. This is crazy. I thought, I'm going to get really bad skin now. But sunbeds actually gave me a patchy appearance on my arms.
Yeah, it's like the sunspots. No, not. But the skin and the pigmentation on my face is quite, I'd say bad. Like, other people might look and be like, what are you talking about? But it's quite bad. I've got like acne scarring and like pigmentation from like the harsh chemicals that slapped all over my face over those years, trying to make my skin look as perfect as possible.
Yeah.
It was never going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So going back to the no makeup days, I started officially going to meetings without makeup, probably lockdowns. Online,
amazing.
Obviously. And realised that I don't actually look that bad.
Not at all.
Even now, though, I don't feel the best looking.
I know what you mean.
It's weird. I know I'm not hideous, obviously.
A bit of a feeling like vulnerable or exposed. Like,
a bit exposed.
People looking at me. You just got that slight thing in your head like, is my skin all right? And obviously we know, we talk about this now, like, got any hair?
Yeah, I have it
dark-haired women, and all of a sudden you'd be sat and you'd be like, oh my God.
Are you feeling, Jordan's feeling a chin, so she's having a beard going on.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a beard, a little bit of a moustache.
Yeah.
Those dark-haired women will get it. No, I do. I like wax, like dermaplane. I can't, it's too painful.
So painful, isn't it?
I had laser hair removal, like.
Yeah, I did.
When was it? Back in the day. But one of the things they say is that obviously then if you're going to get pregnant and have babies, that
the hormones
can bring it back, and in certain areas it has done a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Which is disappointing when it costs a bloody fortune.
It does, and I feel like I need to get mine redone because my upper lip, although all the hair hasn't come back, it's hormonal. They said it might do in those areas, so it has a bit. But us women, like...
I literally, do you know what I say to a lot of my clients? Because obviously I work with a lot of clients who are going through like women's health changes, hormonal changes, perimenopause, PMDD, pregnancy postnatal. And it's like, God, like, we go through so much as women, like so much hormonal shift that we've got no sort of control over. Yeah. Like, obviously, just like big hormonal transitions, and they really impact our psychological well-being for multiple reasons. Like, A, the hormones can impact our mood. Yeah. B, the bodily changes can then impact our self-esteem, like through all of those phases and changes, and it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
And then if you're trying to be a woman in a man's world, I don't even like saying those words because it makes me cringy, but you know, when you're trying to be a business woman or an owner of a business, an employer, and you're doing it as a woman with all those,
that's it.
And you're meant to be the mum that looks after kids at home. I know that it's shifted a lot since, I don't know, from when I had mine, to be honest, it has shifted a lot where more women are going, I'm having kids, but I'm going straight back to work.
Yeah.
Which you've kind of done.
I did. I didn't want to. It's not what I wanted to do. But being self-employed, it was like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like extremely resistant.
No, I thought you would have been
I dipped my toe in like early on. I had like a client I was seeing monthly, and you know, long-standing ones that didn't really drop off. So it was good for me in a way because I didn't have that harsh, I'm not at work for a year and then I'm going back to work full time. Like, I think that's really overwhelming for people. Yeah. Mine was just like, oh, I'm doing a tiny bit, and now, my maternity pay is going to stop in a month. I'm going to, because obviously I took maternity early because of my grandma falling ill. So it ended when Hallie was like 6 months old. So I would have taken longer off if I could have done.
That's so interesting. And I can't remember what I was like because I was in such a different position.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think I was more than ready to go back to work. But then because you've got that pressure of self-employment, I was employed then. Yeah. Maybe that gives you a different...
Yeah, it's pros and cons because like I'm back in work now. I think I said before as well, like a lot of the other girls that were off with their babies from baby group and stuff, like they might have had a full year off. So when I was going back to work, I was like, like
that bit of like, not jealousy. Well,
it is. It's like, of envy, like, I wish I was still off with Hallie, and especially because I had a bit of a rough start. I was thinking the other day about when you came to visit me. Do you remember when she was first born?
So I think she was 3 weeks or 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
And you were fine, but you wasn't yourself.
Oh no. Oh God.
But not, but I love the fact you could do that around me, no judgment.
Yeah.
And that's what you
crying.
Want. Crying, a bit emotional, but like, you're very good at saying, no, it's fine, I'm fine, because I knew you was.
Yeah, I was like, I'm okay, but I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then in like, literally, I think we messaged a week later or something, and you were like, oh my God, already I feel...
A lot
Did better. I send you a...
You sent me a journal,
Do you still write in
journal.
that?
No.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's so hard to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's good for you, but it's effort.
If I was to go back and read that journal, I think I'd have a little cry because...
Can you bring it? Should we do that next week?
Yeah.
Bring it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? I will... Oh, I think we're going to forget. I've got a diary I wrote when Luke was poorly.
Oh.
I could bring that if I can find it.
Yeah.
I know I've got it somewhere.
Yeah. I'll have to gear myself up. That'll make me cry.
That'll make me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think you should always write down your thoughts and feelings. And it's...
Just to see how far you've come, and like, I think when you go through a difficult period, whatever it is, like the postnatal period.
Oh, your eyes look really watery.
I know, I've had a little glaze over.
Yeah. Oh.
Because I think you look back and you think like, oh, that was such a struggle. Yeah. And even in 1 year, like Hallie's a year old, like on next Friday.
God.
And even in a year, you think like, how hard it was at the start. And it will be, because it's such a shock to your system. It's such a change from being like completely like independent, being able to go where you want, when you want, etc., to then like that like you've got to look after your baby's needs first. It's a shock. But obviously, like spoke about before, like the birth was hard. I'd lost my grandma. Like there was a lot going on. So I think like when you reflect back, sometimes you like, I just feel like really like a lot of empathy for like myself a year ago. Like that was really
That's
hard
really good
time.
that you're doing that.
Well, yeah, but then I think as well, and this is what I love about the work that I do, is like you never cease to be amazed by the resilience of like human beings. Like you can go through such tough times, and people go through really, really hard things, a lot of trauma and stuff like that. And then you'll look at the person in front of you today, and they're thriving. And that's actually quite amazing, you know, the resilience of like the human brain.
It's so true.
What you can do with like the right resources and support, and
it's so true.
One step at a time. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why it's so important to have the right people in your life to guide you as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's quite hard.
It only takes one person, you know, or it only takes like one listen to a podcast as well.
It does.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it can take. And I think that's why we love doing things like this.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about being like, oh, we're so good, we can change people's lives, but it's just about talking about your own experiences and your own struggles can really help other people that are in a similar space. Do you know?
And that's why we do it.
Yeah.
And don't get us wrong. Like, I don't do these podcast, video content, LinkedIn posts with easy breezy.
No.
I find myself thinking, it's interesting because like, there was something, I know we might have said this before, but people who don't know you, you know what, with Roxanna as well, listening in.
Yeah, she listens to every episode.
You know, my sister listening in, you think they are the true people. Yeah. And I used to convince myself the ones that don't, well then again, are they just busy? You know, if all your friends aren't listening in, does it matter?
No, not at all.
It doesn't, does it? But I used to think, well, why are they not?
No,
because I would do it for them.
Yeah, I would as well. But I think as well, like, some of my friends might actually genuinely not really be interested in this sort of content, and that's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Like, they might prefer, like, I don't know, like, I don't know what.
I don't know, let's think of something. Oh, like.
They might prefer, I don't know, like, well, I was going to say fitness podcast, but you talk a bit about that.
Yeah.
But they might prefer,
in fact, we've got every subject crammed into them.
Like, we do talk about everything.
Everything. Right. Hold it there. Let's go back to the no makeup because I want more people to be beautiful in their own skin and not worry about what others think.
Yeah.
But have you seen Pamela Anderson that's just like, I'm going to these red carpet things and I'm not wearing any makeup?
No, I've not seen it.
Right, so she looks fantastic. But on a picture in a lovely dress on the red carpet or whatever it was, she isn't going to look as bright because cameras need a bit of brightness. You know, they put it on men, don't they?
Looking like what we say,
washed out.
100%. But it's because we're not used to it.
We're not used to it.
And comparably next to someone that's got like a full glam makeup, like.
So then I saw a post, I can't remember where it was on Instagram, where someone had said, oh, back in the day when Pamela Anderson was hot, sort of thing.
Oh, God.
And, you know, she's gone really rough. I don't know, something like that. And I thought, oh, wow, that's such a shame. But I get it. I get why they are doing that as a male perspective, because that's the way they see women needing it. You know, it's a thing, isn't it? Oh, she's let herself go now because she doesn't even bother with her hair and makeup. But it's not about that. It's about embracing who you are, being happy in your own skin. But if you feel like you've let yourself go, that's a difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm not putting makeup on because I can't let myself go. I'm just embracing that I don't need to make as much effort some days.
And I think sometimes as well, I think about putting makeup on, I think, I don't want to, like, I want to just feel cozy and comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just want to chill and go about, do my shopping. Like, I don't want a full face of makeup
Exactly.
on.
But I know this is, Steve, I don't even know if Steve listens to these, but I don't talk to him because I bring him all. But I know.
Just in case.
Just in case I say something. I know he'd probably much prefer it. This is, I think, if I was wearing full face of makeup and I was quite glam.
You think he'd prefer that?
Yeah, I think he would. Even though he's never said that. How interesting.
I think you're making assumptions.
Maybe I'm making assumptions.
Because I think for a lot of men, like, they don't bat an eyelid. Like, for most men and partners, can we do a poll? Yeah, we need a poll of some
Right, the reason that I say that is just, obviously, he's made a few comments, never negative towards me, by the way.
Yeah.
So, for example, I wanted to wear a suit okay, for an outing. And it was an oversized suit.
Yeah.
But it was, honestly, this sounds mad. It was green, but it could be a man's jacket because that's the look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Baggy trousers and a big oversized jacket. I loved it. Wore it with my trainers, blah, blah, blah. But when I showed...
Did you post about
Yeah, I did.
I think I saw it and I remember thinking, I love that.
But it didn't look as baggy on that picture, I'll admit.
Right.
But it is a baggy suit. I'll
Yeah.
have to show you it after properly. Anyway, so I showed Steve before I put it on and he looked at me gone out. Looks like you're wearing a man's jacket sort of thing, like as if. And I'm like, just bear with me. It'll be with a tight vest, blah, blah, blah. And I wore it anyway.
Yeah, you have to.
But a part of me nearly didn't.
Yeah.
Because it takes one person to go...
Especially your partner, but I always I think men don't really know women's fashion a lot of the time.
No.
So, you know, for example, like Doc Marten boots, like, George, to be fair, George likes mine, but I know a lot of, like...
Steve won't like them.
Yeah, a lot of my friends' partners are like, ugh, don't like them. And it's like, well, you won't, but you don't understand women's fashion, so I'm still wearing them.
Yeah.
But some people would be put off. And there's a difference between, like, oh, you're not wearing that when we're going out, are you? Like, making you feel bad about it and going, like... Oh, right, that's different.
Yes. And it's like, I've worn baggy jeans before and I can see he's like, oh, yeah, get your boy jeans on or whatever.
But again, it goes back to just like conditioning. And we spoke about this before, about like conditioning of men and women.
Yeah.
And as much as women are conditioned to like beauty standards and what femininity looks like and, you know, what's acceptable and what's not, men are conditioned to exactly the same standards to expect that of women and, you know, other things for themselves. But so men are conditioned as well to feel like women in dresses and makeup are feminine and attractive.
Yeah, it's so true.
Do you know
That's
what I
why
mean?
we're like,
So there's always going to be a bit of that.
I want more women to just don't even think you need makeup. And we all judge, we've said this before, I definitely judge less. The more you judge less, the more you'll do yourself. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think, again, some of those initial judgments go back to our conditioning.
It's our own things.
Where you see someone wearing something or not wearing something and you're like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then, like, now my response is always like, oh, good for them. Like, good for them. Like, they've worn that, they're doing what they want.
Yeah, I love that.
Good for them. Like, you know, but that you have to admit that there might be an initial judgment, like, oh, what are they wearing? What's that about? I'm not sure about that. But I always ask myself, like, where's that coming from? I don't think that's my voice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's like the conditioned voice of like society, media, peers from the 90s, like all of that shit.
I know. I had a really good chat with Steve this weekend. We talked about retiring. I know that sounds ridiculous, even I've just hit 40, so it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
And he even shared an amount that you might need in hundreds of thousands to like live off if you hit retirement age. I can't remember. Oh, he did it at 55.
Yeah, you need a lot because you live longer now.
Yeah, well, I hope we do. I say I hope we do. Touch wood anyway. Let's not talk about that. Really interesting. And then we're like, what we're doing this all for, blah, blah, blah. I do think, and I say this to him, I don't hold myself as back as much as now than what I used to, but I think we both hold ourselves back because we've come from, when you're tight with money, it's coming from a time when you didn't have any money. You've been brought up around, oh, we need to be careful all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because we're like, oh yeah, that is a bit of us.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with your business money. You don't want to just keep spending willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But be careful that you haven't got too much in the bank to then just have it there.
Yeah.
And the best businesses seem to just go in, all in, spend.
Yeah.
But obviously with a bit of like strategy behind it.
Yeah,
and
knowing you're going to get the return sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. But we had a really good, and I think more people need to talk. I love talking about money and plans and future and vision and this, that, the other. And you're not living, he basically said, because Steve lost his dad before Christmas, well, a bit before Christmas. But he's like, all right, so we're going to just have loads of money in the bank because he was on about how he saves. Yeah. For what?
Yeah.
You're not there to have money for your kids.
No,
because they can make their own, can't they? And that's what life's about.
100%.
What is that all about, that people do that, hoard the money?
It's just like an outdated value, isn't it? Again, like, is it a Western thing? I'm not sure. But yeah, like people expecting inheritance, like, do you know what I mean? There's none for me. Like, there's none, and I just like.
Likewise.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, well, that is how it is. And my grandma always used to say, like, you'll have the money while we're here. Like, and we can make memories with you and share and enjoy, you know. So she helped us all out. And like, obviously my granddad's still here and he does when he can.
But how do you know for sure that you're not going to, you know...
Because I know their finances.
You do,
I know their financial situation. I've
been there.
Ironed it all out for my granddad, you know, after my grandma passed away suddenly. So
hard that is.
I know. So yeah, so I know it. Like, I know there's no secret, like,
little
stash coming my way, which is fine. Like you say, you make your own money, and I'm not bothered. Like, when my granddad tries to give me money and stuff, I'm like, I'd rather you keep it for yourself. Like, you go and do something nice with Wendy. Like, you enjoy yourself. Like, book something, go for a meal. Like, I'd much prefer that. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be squirreling money away to give to us. Like, we don't need it. Like,
that's so sweet.
But it's true, isn't it? Like,
that you've even got that, though. You know, with your granddad just going, here's a 20 quid or whatever you do, and try and put it in your hand.
I know, yeah. Honestly.
Here's a little... Yeah. But it's, you know, that's sweet because
it's lovely.
You've got, like, it's all swings and roundabouts in families and stuff. Like, you can say, oh, you've got a lovely, sweet relationship with your grandma and granddad when your grandma was here. But then in the same breath, you didn't have the support from your normal side of parents. And then I can say, well, I didn't have a grandma and granddad that did that. What yours are doing, that closeness.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people because
every dynamic is different.
Yeah, it is.
I had this conversation with one of my like baby friends. And she's not got a lot of family support from her parents that are here. You know, they're just, the dynamics just not there really in that same way. And I think you can make assumptions about people's circumstances, can't you? And like, oh, they must have had this and that and the other. But you don't know. Like, everyone's situation is different. And even like, you know, Christmas is prime time for the family Facebook photos to be there.
Yeah.
All smiles. Like, I know a lot of like nuclear families, you know, mum and dad still together, kids and whatever, that are extremely dysfunctional. And I'm not saying it's all the time, but all I am saying is, like, don't make assumptions about people's lives and circumstances. Yeah. And for me as well, like, I think it's really easy at times to like wallow and be like, oh, I wish I had this and that, but you have to look at what you have got.
It's, oh my God, everybody falls into that trap.
You do, like, sometimes you have a little wallow, but then like, I feel like very okay about my circumstances because I feel like, well, you know, it was great to have like an amazing, loving, caring like grandparents who like looked after me well, were really flexible. Like, it's nice, and some people don't have that.
It's so true. Like, and also we said before, you can choose who you have in your life.
Yeah. And
social media, the more you're yourself on social media, the more you attract, you know, good people. And I attracted somebody who's very, like, I don't think she even realises how important she is to me. Now I've got to be careful because of like who they are in my life. I don't know how to say it because I know they listen to this. So she'll probably know I'm talking about her, but it took me a while to really open up to this person because it's like that trust element. Even though I come across like I'll just give everybody an opportunity to be my friend, it's not true. And I didn't realise. I just want to say that business can mean like being so open and raw to somebody. Yeah. And it's okay. And I'm still learning that. I'm not fully there because you're scared that you're going to come across, in business as well, like, she can't do it, or weak, or... And it's not. It means I can do it even more so because I'm doing those things. Yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to share. Anybody in business or anybody that's thinking about posting online, please be you and genuine and be open to new relationships. Yeah, because I never used to think I'd be open to them because I used to think, oh no, if they're not living in Newark, do I want to be friends with them?
And it's that trust thing, isn't it? Like, especially when you're worried about being like judged and criticised and stuff like that. I had the same where I was like, just thought no one would like me. Do you know what I mean? So
where did you think that? When? Or what made you think like that?
So, as an example, I'll bring Roxanne back into the
Hi, Roxanne, again.
Hello, welcome back to the
coffee.
room.
May as well come here. She can come here next time.
Pop in as a guest. She's like, honestly, she's the person though that has been like in my life for such a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really nasally because I've still got a bit of a snotty nose, which is lovely. Really nice.
She's actually crying about Roxanne here right now. No, you're not.
It is lovely though. She's been in my life for such a long time, so she's witnessed like all the phases and transitions, so she's already there. But Roxanne, like, we've been friends forever, and she's my closest friend, but she obviously had like other groups of friends.
Yeah.
And she would frequently like invite me out with the other groups of friends, and I'd like a lot of the time just wouldn't dare go because I'd be like, no one's gonna like me, like, and that would have been maybe from, you know, teenage years at school to like 22, 23, 23. Yeah, definitely.
What do you reckon they thought they wouldn't like about you? Because
I don't know. I think again, it's just like, it's your own belief system. And we said one day we were going to map out our formulations, didn't we?
Oh, we did, didn't we?
We'll do it at some point.
Yeah. I don't know if I dare.
So like, and again, like, it doesn't always mean like trauma and really negative, horrible experiences. But for example, if you're a child that has been like bullied at school, or you've had someone in your life that has made you feel like you're not good enough, or that is always like, oh, why can't you just do this or that? And not an immediate family member for me, but I had a family member that was always like picking at me and criticising me from like a very early age, like
no way,
childhood. And it was just like, you know, like, oh, you're this and that, and like, yeah. So in you, from a young age, our kind of core beliefs, I think I've said before, are kind of solidified from like, I think they say about like 8 years old is a really pivotal age, but early childhood and adolescent years are like really pivotal for the formation of our core beliefs that then kind of tend to stick with us into adulthood, even though our rational brain knows different. So some of my negative core beliefs would be like, I'm bad, I'm not good enough. That's a really common one because it's so general. I'm stupid. We've spoken about that one before. So basically, if you hold those beliefs about yourself, when it then comes to meeting other people, you're going to be worried that that's how other people are going to evaluate you.
So true, isn't it?
That's just how it works.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, so that would have been what was happening for me at the time.
Yeah.
But wouldn't have had any insight into it at that point. I would have understood that that's what was happening, and that actually I just need to go and be myself and know that actually when I did go out and I was more myself, people did like me. Some people didn't, of course they wouldn't, but like a lot of the time people did like me and were happy to spend time with me, but I didn't give myself enough opportunity to see that consistently because I was like, don't want to go. You won't like me. Like,
I bet so many people can relate to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate the thought of someone not liking me. I have to do a lot of reframing and get on with that.
Yeah.
Because it's almost true when you say, well, do you like everybody? It's no.
I don't like everybody, but also I'm not going to be horrible to anyone.
No, I'm not.
I'm never going to be horrible. I will always be like polite and kind.
Yeah, I would. Unless
people are being like awful and abusive. Like that's a
different
matter, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like generally
thank you for that. You are, that's fine, not you think. You just wouldn't, would you? You'd be like, hello, what's going on?
Like,
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I love
how have we ended up here?
I know, from no makeup days.
But no makeup does matter because, again, it's a confidence thing. Do you know what I mean? If you're less worried about what others think and you can be kind of like sure of yourself and that you're a likeable person, like regardless how you show up looking.
Yeah, makeup
it's irrelevant, really.
I couldn't go to an evening do with no makeup on. I'd be like, no way.
No, I don't think I would either.
Unless everyone said it's a no makeup. I'd be like, this is amazing.
Can someone orchestrate that?
We
like
should
a
do
no
one.
makeup.
We should do one.
Meal out or something.
Yeah, we should. Well, I'm going to just say what we said the other month. At some point later this year, we're going to do an event, aren't we?
Yeah, like a live event.
Live event. That's all we're saying before people take our idea. Yeah, so watch this space. Maybe we'll say don't bring your makeup. No,
no makeup live event.
No, joking. Joking. But yeah, no, I was going to say thank you all for watching and listening. Are we going to bring our diaries? I'm going to see if I can find mine if I get a chance.
I know where mine is. It's still like on the top of my head.
Even if you bring yours and then I'll bring mine for the next one or something, I'll pop it in.
I'll have to have a little read before I come in.
Yeah, edit some out.
Buffer well, some of it is, it's like, it is really personal. And I know there's like a lot of entries about resentment in a relationship in there.
Oh, I like that.
It's normal at that point.
Yeah, I just think it's
and it was unfair.
Yeah, God damn it.
Misplaced.
And if you're listening, she's in a better place.
You love a bit of an American ending. It's like you have to out credit with an American boy.
Why do I do this? Ground's following me right up. I'm just such an idiot. Anyway, on that note, I'm going.
Thank you.